Well, thank you so much, Amanda, for opening up and sharing those with me. I know it helps a lot to at least get them out. That's a good step forward. Knowing, being able to address the issue is a huge step. So let's start off with the whole thing with the ex. And what was his name?
Brian.
Okay. So you're currently living with him, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Although I have my own room and we live as roommates because there's no romance at all in our relationship.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, so was there a point in your relationship at all where there was any romance?
I would say like in the very early days, sort of, but we just didn't really mesh well in that area. And
Okay.
so it really became more of just a best friend support type thing. And then just kind of out of necessity when the recession hit and I lost my job and I didn't have anywhere to live, he was like, I have a spare room in my house, you can come stay with me. And it was kind of weird because neither one of us have ever lived with a significant other before. And it really wasn't, that's not even really what it was in the conventional sense. It was really just a roommate type situation. Mm-hmm. But it's been a really strange situation because like he continues to refer to us as a couple, okay, even though it's not romantic in nature. And okay, I've been like, well, then maybe we should just like call it what we are. We're best friends and roommates, and that way we can, actually see people, and I can have a chance of maybe getting married one day. And his response has been, well, if you're going to do that, then you need to move out. But up until recently, I haven't had any way to do that.
To move out?
Yes.
Okay.
I haven't financially had any kind of means to do that until recently. Okay.
So then, do you have any options for leaving?
Now, recently, a couple of opportunities have come up.
Okay, so tell me about those.
Okay, I have a girlfriend who's offered to let me come and stay with her for a time and do some caring for her kids in exchange. But I'm not sure if I really want to do that. Okay. Because, first of all, it's just really hard to move into someone else's space.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah,
I just always kind of feel like an intruder.
It's awkward,
yeah, when I do that. Yeah. It's hard to just really feel at home. And then also I'm concerned about, am I going to be able to meet her expectations as far as having enough time to care for her kids when I've already got all my own career stuff and things going on. So that's why I'm not really sure that and that offer's been there for a while, but I just haven't really felt like I want to grab onto
So is that your only option, though?
No, actually, no. Since my granny has passed away, her house has been sitting empty.
Oh, okay.
And, the market being where it is, I don't think that if we tried to sell it now, we would get the full value that that the family would like. And so my family, because all my other siblings, they're married and they have their own homes and lives and everything. And so there is the opportunity that I could move into the house. And it would be good because then it's not sitting vacant and I can also help take care of it and that sort of thing.
Is there a reason why you wouldn't move in? Let's think of this as listing the pros of leaving Brian. It seems like like it's making you feel a little bit anxious, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
How'd you guess?
So what? So tell me. Why are you anxious about leaving him?
Okay. I think part of it is like I've never been like a homeowner before and had to care for a home. And so it kind of feels a little overwhelming and I'm not a handy person at all. Okay. And so it's like, am I going to be able to handle that responsibility? And that's kind of a concern. But I think the bigger concern, you kind of hit the nail on the head, it is more about leaving the relationship. Okay. All right. I have a lot of uncertainty and anxiety about that.
Okay. And so tell me about it's been 8 years, and it hasn't been. And you told me that you had even mentioned before that you had talked to him about about wanting to maybe date other people and have explore other relationships, and he said no. So then, explain kind of what it feels like right now that you actually have this opportunity, but you're still somewhat hesitant to take the opportunity. You're still pulling back. So what is that
It's
like?
weird. I feel like I'm just like this crazy schizo person because like on one hand, it's like I feel stuck and trapped
Right.
and not able to move forward with the things that I want in my life.
Right.
But on the other hand, I mean, you have to understand that like my granny was my last really family support.
Right.
You know, I have siblings,
Okay.
but they're not. Well, I don't really have a relationship with my dad and stepmom anymore.
Okay.
And my stepmom, she's kind of one of those people that like to like talk bad about people and spread it around. And
Negative,
so
yeah.
so she spends a lot of time, like talking really negatively about me to the other members of the family.
Okay.
And yet they're still wanting to have a relationship with the parents, and so
Right.
and I don't want them to get in the middle of it. And so because of that, and because that's just really unhealthy, like I don't really have much of a relationship at all with my parents. And
Okay.
and then my siblings, you know, a couple of them are just really they've kind of got their own issues that are really closely tied in with my stepmom's issues. And then I have a relationship with my brother and his wife, but you know they're just really busy and
Right.
and they live far away and all that, and so that's not really real means of support. And so my main means of support, really through ever since my mother died when I was 10, has been my 3 grandparents. And
Okay.
now all 3 of them have passed away here in the last 3 years, with my granny being the most recent.
Okay.
And so I've really, you know, and I knew that Granny's health was declining and she was getting older, and I think I've hung on to Brian thinking, you know, when Granny's gone, I'm not going to have anyone, so I need to hang on to Brian. And
Okay.
what I've realized is that since Granny has passed recently, I've been really surprised at how I've dealt with it a lot better than I thought that I would.
Okay. Good.
Because, and I think back to when I was a teenager, and I remember just being fearful about what am I going to do when my granddad die, and I was talking to my mom's best friend about this, and she said, God will give you the grace to deal with that when it happens. And I didn't really understand that,
Right.
but it's really been true. And so
Right.
it's almost like, wow, I had more strength to get through Granny's passing than I thought. Maybe I could muster up the strength to do this, you know, to do
Totally, yeah.
this next, you know,
And you gotta, you know, the loss of a family member it's a huge thing. I mean, it's a huge loss, especially when it's one of your main reasons, your main supports. And you know, there's nothing that can ever replace a family member. Not saying there's not something that can replace Brian, of course, but it's you know, you can think of it as a new chapter, a new beginning.
I think what I meant in saying all that is just that because I'm trying to paint a picture of this big absence of family that I
Right.
have, and so Brian has been that for me.
Okay.
And I think I've been fearful that if I say, look, we're truly just going to be friends,
Right.
and I'm going to move out to show that, and I'm going to have my own life, and we'll still be friends. I'm just fearful that he may say, well, then we're not going to be friends anymore. And he hasn't said that.
Right.
I mean, I know that with ex-girlfriends, he's not maintained friendships with any of them, but he has said that I'm kind of different, and I think part of it is just because our relationship has just been friendship all along.
Right.
And so, but I'm still fearful of like losing the only family support that I've ever had. And so I think
Okay.
that is the biggest. And then also like, you know, am I going to be lonely? And,
Right.
you know, in the house all by myself, and because I've really realized that over these 8 years I've spent all my time with him, and I haven't maintained any other relationships. And so I'm
Okay.
feeling very isolated apart from him.
Okay. So you mentioned earlier, yes, about God. So I'm assuming you have some sort of religious affiliation.
Yes,
Okay.
I actually used to be a minister.
Oh wow, that's great. Okay. So then, what about your church? Do you attend a church on a regular basis? Is there some people in your church that you can go to for support?
I actually don't have a home church right now,
Okay.
just because I've spent so much time on Sundays either working in my job or I spent a lot of time with Brian trying to work on remodeling his house, but we never really seemed to make much progress, and so it's kind of kept me from being able to really plug into a church. And there is a really good church that's nearby that I've thought about maybe trying out and getting involved in, but I just haven't really had the opportunity yet because, again, I spend all my time with Brian and his house and that sort of thing.
Okay, so then let's focus on that.
Okay.
Okay, so you're needing to, it sounds like to me like you really you're needing to find other support. Not that not that you can replace Brian, but you have to, you need to find someone else or something else out there that can support you so that you're not completely reliant on him.
Yes.
Okay? However, you're letting him keep you from finding those other support groups, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's got to be, there's got to be some sort of separation there. And I'm not, I understand it's very, very challenging to do because, Brian is routine and you know him.
Comfortable and yeah.
Right, exactly. And then, having to go out here and explore new territory, that can be really scary. But that also means that you're shutting yourself out from some possible great opportunities over there.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would, I'd really encourage you to explore, start going to at least try that church, okay? Do you think we could set that goal of you going to this new church that you were talking about next Sunday? At least just attending it. You don't have to, small step of at least just attending the church.
I actually kind of like this idea because
Okay.
I kind of feel like it's kind of more of a gradual transition,
Right, yeah.
rather than me just being like, see ya, and moving
Right,
out
exactly.
and having no connections and being completely isolated and alone. But maybe if I can start to gradually add some people into my life even before I leave,
Right.
then I'd feel more empowered to be able to make that
definitely.
change.
And you need to, and it's gonna, you have to communicate with Brian, obviously. You can't control how he responds to that.
Yeah.
But, like you said, it's not just like a clean break, see ya, because that's gonna probably leave a huge mark on him.
Right.
So, and, who knows, maybe he would also be interested in maybe attending the church or maybe finding other friends as well because, you might be his main support. It sounds like you probably are his main support. Mm-hmm. So that could also be encouraging to him to branch out and, find other people to support him as well.
Might help him with being able to let me go when the time
Exactly.
comes, so he doesn't react in a scared sort of, freak out way that could damage our friendship.
Right, exactly. I mean, that's a long relationship. It's not something that you
It
really
is, it really is.
Yeah, I understand that's difficult. So let's, I want to revisit the whole moving thing.
Okay.
So you have the option of moving into your grandmother's house, right?
Mm-hmm.
So and that's, I'm sorry, we already talked about that, didn't we? What's prevented you from moving in?
Yeah, just the concerns of, am I going to be able to handle the responsibility? And
Okay.
then the other thing was just the transition from Brian. Am I going to lose the friendship when I move out?
Okay, so let's think of those.
I think I'm just scared of telling him that thing about moving out.
Right, exactly.
And also, I don't know, he may be, it's like so hard to know the timing because he may be like, well then fine, just get the hell out now. And then I'm like, I haven't lined up my ducks and everything. But at the same time, I don't want to do a whole bunch of stuff behind his back and feel like I'm being deceptive because we have trust in our friendship and we've always shared things with each other.
Right. So he doesn't know that you're contemplating moving out.
I've mentioned it casually a couple times, but he doesn't think that he doesn't know that there's a serious option. Like, he doesn't even know that my granny's house is available to me as an option.
Okay.
He's never known. I've just been like, I may move out, and it was kind of never real because there wasn't any real opportunity.
Right.
He doesn't know that now I have a true ability to do that.
Okay. So, how long have you guys been separated? Like, officially?
Well, we're not.
Relationship is
We're
separated?
not.
So, has there been an ending to your relationship? There hasn't? Okay.
No.
Okay.
That's the thing. I've been like, let's just say we're friends and date other people, and he's like, well, if we do that, you're going to have to move out. And I haven't been able to move out yet. So that's why we're still technically still in this, dating relationship that's not really a dating relationship. I'm just kind of feel like I'm just in limbo.
Right, exactly. Okay.
I think that moving out, that would be a very clear understanding that, we are now officially only calling it friends because now I no longer live with you. And I think that would come across loud and clear.
Okay. Right.
So I really think that's going to have to happen in order for the breakup to happen.
Right. Okay. Well, yeah, and that's true. So besides the breaking up thing, which I guess I don't know if that'd be pro or con, but list some pros of moving into your grandmother's house.
Well, he's kind of like a hoarder.
Okay.
Seriously, like TV worthy. And so we fight all the time about the state of the house. And like it stresses me out so bad because I need like order. And when I come home from a stressful day and then like I'm looking at just piles of crap everywhere, it gets me really freaked out. And then I get really bitchy. And then like we get into fights. And this is like 95% of our problems are fighting over the state of this house and the fact that he just doesn't even care that it bothers me. He's just going to keep doing what he wants to do.
Okay, so then right there's a pro, have your own space.
Yes, I can
decorate it,
yes,
organize however you like.
When I leave the house and I come home, it'll still be that way.
Okay, so besides the the house, for you, like internally, what would it look like if you moved out?
Well, I think that if I had some people in my life, another thing is like I love to cook and entertain and have friends over. And I've not been able to do that for 8 years because of the state of the house. And I really, really miss that because that is so much of who I am and I enjoy that so much. And so that is something that I would be able to do once I moved out.
So, the basis of it, are you happy with Brian?
No.
Okay.
It's really only fear that's keeping me there.
Okay.
Honestly.
All right.
I know that.
Okay. Well, good. I mean, that's great that you recognize that because it is a huge. I mean, that's a huge step. It is like stepping out of your comfort zone, and that can be really scary. But you have to make that first step.
Thank you for like understanding that because I was really afraid I totally you would just think I was nuts or something.
I mean, I moved a lot when I was a kid, so starting a new school, I totally understand that. It's very scary. New location, new school, new people. It's basically kind of what you're doing, stepping out.
It's almost like I'm moving to a new city, even though I'm not. I'm completely starting my life all over again. Right,
exactly. And so, that's something that you kind of, let's try to put a positive spin on it. Instead of seeing it as I'm leaving him, see it more as I'm starting new. I'm starting a new beginning, focusing on you. And what you also need to kind of think about is that it's okay to focus on you. You don't have to take care of everybody all the time. It's okay to take care of yourself. And it's been such a long time that I think I think you need to take care of yourself. So I feel like, so how you're responding, it seems like that's something that you
I've just never really felt like I could do that before.
See, so that's a huge, especially at this point, it's a huge thing.
I'm sorry, I laugh like when I'm sad. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so it's a huge, clearly you need to do that. So
thank you so much for helping me kind of, see this in a lighter way because I just feel so stressed and heavy about it all the time, and it's actually kind of nice I just really feel like you're really understanding.
Oh, good, thanks.
Yeah.
I do. I can definitely empathize with some of the feelings that you've had.
Thank you.
And I mean, it's exhausting to be taking care of everybody else.
It is.
Besides yourself.
It is.
And so I think that, we can take baby steps to seeing what it would feel like to focus on you and stop focusing on everybody else's problems and issues, I mean, you've talked a lot today about your mom's death, your grandmother's death, Brian, the issues with your stepmother, right, and the relationship with your dad and your siblings. And so all of these issues are involving other people. So they're involving external things. And those are things that you actually can control. Okay? So you have to think of it that way. So you can, obviously, you can't control, the death of your grandmother and your mother. You can control how you cope with those, though. As far as grieving, you can control using that as a time to think about the great things that the great influence that maybe your grandmother probably had in your life?
You know, I've actually just now thought of a couple of other pros with moving into the house.
Okay.
Because, like, I think when I'm in that house, I feel a lot closer to my granny.
Mm-hmm.
And also, like, she loved holidays. And, like, the holidays are coming up. And, like, I've been spending time on Pinterest lately. And she was all scared of computers and all. But I just
Right.
think about how much she would have loved Pinterest if that had been, like, her generational thing. And so I've been finding that I'm making a lot of, like, decorations for Thanksgiving and everything.
Okay.
And when I do that, it's like I feel like my granny's with me. And I'm like,
Well,